Hello and welcome to the Infinity Saga and Beyond, an MCU fan podcast. My name is Jordan. With me is Chris and Ron. And then, Ron, if you wanted to introduce our guest and explain what we're doing today.
Yeah, man. As we kind of gear up for this holiday weekend here, we figured it would be cool to try to bring on a fun guest for this one. And boy, did we ever!
I was
Because
going to
we
say,
have
sorry.
got. So we're so sorry. We couldn't. We tried for Eric Voss. He wasn't available. So now,
New dad, Eric Voss. He's too busy. He's too busy nursing his son.
Good for them. Good for them. Glad to hear it. But yeah, you've seen him on New Rockstars. You've seen him on his own show, Have a Drink with Me. He is the Christmas boy himself, my boy, Tommy Bechtold.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Great to be here. I hope I'm a fun guest. Sometimes I'm on the East Coast now, so I'm a 3-hour time difference. I used to be, at this point, it would be 5 p.m. on the West Coast. I'd be electric, but now at 8 p.m. I'm just trying to get to bed. But not before we have an amazing time, and I eat at least 3 more dinners than I should. I'm gonna have second dinner in about 2 hours, and then third dinner somewhere in the middle of the night. So.
If you couldn't tell by looking at us, that's a notion we all support. So.
My brothers.
We love it. So yeah, Jordan, if you want to kind of just kind of get us right into what we're doing here today.
Yes, we're doing our Post Secret Wars Avengers roster draft. So we have 4 of us here. We're going to go snake style draft. Ron will share the order. And we're kind of leaving it open enough to, if you want to draft Iron Man, if you want to draft Steve Rogers, if they're rebooting after Secret Wars, that's open. It's a pretty open, fluid situation we got going on here. But Ron, what's the order?
Yeah, it's so Tommy's gonna kick us off. I promise you don't have to check the voting machines or anything like that. This has been a clear. it's been a fair way to go.
I was trying so hard to remember the name of the voting machine company. It was like Cyber Ninja or something like that.
Dominion.
Dominion. That's right. Cyber Ninja was the poor company that had to verify, right? Like they had to go. Yeah. Cyber Ninja had to do the audit of Dominion. Anyway, This is fun. Let's talk about that for a minute. Did you think we were going to talk about the Avengers? Let's get into the 2024 election and talk.
Yeah. Well, let's all say who we're voting for. Here.
Everybody at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jill, what's her name? Jill, the lady that everyone gets mad at. Right, anyway.
Excellent.
Sorry. Okay.
But yeah, Tommy's kicking us off. Chris is following him. Then it's going to be me. Then Jordan. So I guess just kind of without any further ado, Tommy, you're on the clock.
I'm gonna move us around. Move us around here in the order. Hold on.
Yeah.
There we go.
I want to be like that, the worst guy in your fantasy football league or girl. And just take the maximum amount of time and hem and haw over the first pick. My first.
We have
pick,
a 10-minute timer.
I'm really glad. I'm not going to use all 10. I'm going to use 10 seconds. My first pick is going to be the leader of my new Avengers team, and that is Dr. Stephen Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, Dr. Stephen Strange.
I like it. Do you want? Yeah, and just after your pick, feel free if you'd like to just give a little blurb, like why you picked them.
I think if this is our MCU Avengers, if we're going through categorically, are we talking about if they make an Avengers movie after Secret Wars? Who would I most like to see leading the Avengers? I think the Doctor Strange has a lot of meat left on the bone in his journey. I think Multiverse of Madness was a fun movie. It wasn't my favorite favorite Marvel movie, and I think having two kind of any movie that loses its creative driving force and then adds a new creative driving force, I think inevitably becomes a bit of a fragmented film. It's kind of impossible to have a cohesive movie that doesn't feel like there's tons of reshoots. So
it's an amalgamation of two different
and that didn't bother me. Sam Raimi is awesome. So that was all cool. I just think that the way Benedict Cumberbatch plays Dr. Stephen Strange, he's he has the confidence of someone that could lead the Avengers. Like, and I think in the comics we have seen Stephen Strange step up as a de facto leader when others have fallen. So Stephen Strange, welcome to the team.
All right.
A little bit of a shock pick.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I like it.
I was wondering if the approach was going to be total reboot and try to, just be like, oh, we're going to start over with a new Tony or a new Cap.
Oh,
but
sure.
And so you'd be keeping Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like Stephen Strange is one of the few characters, kind of both in the comics and in live action, that age doesn't really, up until you get into your maybe late 60s, age isn't really a factor with his power set. You're going to believe with the effects that Benedict Cumberbatch is the Sorcerer Supreme, or you're not. It's not like I don't think it's too big. It's not necessarily like Robert De Niro in The Irishman trying to kick someone to death. It's not necessarily going to be that hokey. So yeah, I like to start with a bedrock, something old. I like to treat these drafts like a wedding. Something old, something new, something borrowed, maybe something blue coming up later.
I like it. Now I can't stop thinking about Robert De Niro as Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Oh God.
Tony, we got to save the universe, eh?
It's not bad.
Not bad.
I've heard things about the time stone. All right.
All right, Chris, you're up.
I am delighted that he went that direction, because I'm going to take Peter Parker here. I'm going to take Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Look, you can't go wrong. First off, from a financial reason, you can't go wrong with Spider-Man. He is the biggest character on the board, and I love what we just got with No Way Home. You have a guy who tries to do the right things for the right reasons. He learned that he had to take responsibility, and he's finally become a hero. His origin story was a 3-movie arc, and I think where he is right now gives him the perfect responsibility on his shoulder to be a leader. I would have loved to get Strange with him later. So that does kind of, sour. Like, I was thinking maybe if I can get him in the mid round or maybe the second round, because I think they're a great pairing. I think he's the wise guy to lean on. But I think I got a leader with Spider-Man, and I'm just going to say it. I got the coolest character.
Yeah. You do kind of win no matter what if you take Spider-Man, right? Like, that is like, there's no bones about it.
Yeah, I mean, the character has printed money. It's not a fucking secret. Oh, excuse me. I know we try to limit those on the show, but if they slip, don't worry about it.
I'm in my mommy's house, so I'm going to try not to curse. They always say.
The character prints money. I mean, we just saw the money the game made. We said the No Way Home. Every movie that's ever come out, Spider-Man, no matter how people feel about it, it does well at the box office. Right. And he's just, it's sort of the natural progression, I feel like, especially for this Peter at this point, to kind of like the next step for him is being that sort of adult leader and kind of taking on Tony's role that he was sort of grooming him for years, really. So
yeah,
here we are. I'm at 3, and admittedly, I still don't have a clue what I want to do here. I was hoping that you guys would take the Cap Iron Man kind of decision out of my hand.
Sure.
So now it's kind of like I feel like I almost have to go kind of half reboot, half not. So it may be a little chalk, but I'm going to go Steve Rogers, Captain America. I feel like when you think of the Avengers, maybe more so in comics than movies, because movies, it's hard to not immediately go to RDJ. But for me, when I think of Avengers comics, Steve Rogers is head and shoulders, first and foremost, the one I always think of. He's one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic Marvel character, period, outside of probably Peter Parker and a few others. But I feel like despite it being a little safe, I feel like with you guys, I needed a bedrock for my team. The true A-list, like, he's the one you're putting at the top of the marquee, and I'm going to go Steve Rogers.
I like it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to sound like a Tony hater or something, but, you mentioned the RDJ of it all. I feel like I always think of Cap when I think of the Avengers. Not just comic wise. I was Team Cap Civil War. Like I always leaned more Cap in those original times. So I think it's a good pick because he's kind of like I would say the heart of the Avengers.
So what you're saying is you are in firm support of the Avengers killing as many innocent people as possible in order to get the job
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm in support of not putting our superheroes in political.
For sure.
Yeah. Like he says, what happens if they don't send us where we need to be, right?
Yeah.
Which we also see kind of in, like, not to bring up Superman, but we kind of see that with Superman stuff sometimes too, where he saves like a North Korea sub in Superman and Lois, and the U.S. government's like, "What the hell, man?" And you're like, he should be saving as many people as possible. That's kind of how I feel like with Cap.
Love it.
Translates well with that. But that makes me question what I should do with my pick. Because there's a few ways you can go about it, right? Like
I think there's 3 first rounders left, 3 genuine first rounders.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna have to do is go with a classic character that. Well, at least I get back to back. So okay,
Yeah.
Let me think about this.
I
think I have to go.
So Tommy, what'd you have for lunch today?
Great question and great segue. I had Puerto Rican today. I've been missing. Let's see. I lived in Los Angeles the last 16 years. Recently relocated to New York, and not the city, the Canadian part of New York. So the cultural food choices have not been the same as LA. So I had a delightful rice and chicken stew for lunch. It was really great. Shout out to what is the name of the place? Mamia's.
Well, if any of our listeners are in upstate New York and are looking for some fire Puerto Rican food,
yes,
we'll expect the advertising check in the mail.
That's right.
we need to cover Tommy's $5 booking.
That's right, guys. And by the way, thanks for paying that in advance. That went a long way.
It was tough to scrap together. I'll admit it was a big ask at the last second, but we got it done.
I forgot I made that outrageous demand.
Thanks for buying me some time here. I think I'm gonna go with my first pick here of the two. I'm gonna go with Thor.
Yeah.
An original Avengers member. I would of course keep Chris Hemsworth. In my mind, it's no reboot after Secret Wars, so I'm not going to be picking Iron Man or Cap. Like you already picked Cap, but I was never going to pick Steve.
They're
Rogers
off the board for you. Okay.
Yeah, for me, they're off the board. I want to see this universe continue. Without like us being like, well, let's grab 615's Iron Man instead. Like, I want us to keep progressing the story here. So I'm going to go with Thor. I would love to see him he's been one of those main Avengers. If he can continue his growth and maybe be like a leader of this Avengers team. Since in my pick, he's probably going to be the one that's been there the longest is probably going to be Thor.
Nice.
Like it. And then for my next pick, because I get both, I'm going to go with a Black Panther.
Oh.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with, it's going to be T'Challa, but it's going to be his son aged up at some point here.
Okay.
If I'm making the in-universe explanation here, but it's going to be young T'Challa growing up and not Shuri as Black Panther.
Nice.
I love it.
I like it a lot. Yeah, he was one of the ones that I had a first round grade on. I wasn't sure just because there was everything that happened with the movie with Chadwick and all that stuff. It's kind of it's still even now kind of a touchy thing. People feel very strongly about it one way or the other.
Oh yeah,
thing or what you're gonna do. But I love the pick. I love Black Panther, and I think there's, like Tommy said with Doctor Strange, there is so much meat left on that bone in terms of the MCU, so much that we didn't get, unfortunately, because Chadwick passed away. So if we can kind of continue that and pick that back up and do the character the justice that it deserves finally, even though those circumstances were out of anybody's control, of course. But if you can get that second chance with a new casting of the character, I think it's a great idea.
Can I make a stipulation on this too?
Sure.
It's going to be the Civil War suit, the practical suit, not the CG suit. I think it looked the best out of all of the Black
that suit when we first saw it in Civil War was amazing. I agree.
I know.
I just
I don't know
that
why
exact sequence. I caught like 10 minutes of it in a hotel a few weeks ago, and it was him chasing after Bucky in that suit.
Oh, so
what
good.
a scene!
So
yeah.
I thought your stipulation was going to be that Ryan Gosling has to play him. But
yeah. Oh yeah, Ryan Gosling circling an unknown role, right? He had yeah. I wonder what the heck he could be playing. If he's playing the Thing, I'm out.
No, I hope not. So I was thinking about this a lot the other day. My favorite Marvel character is Nova, Richard Rider. Yeah. He's like the only person that I can genuinely see Ryan Gosling like playing right now, feasibly, like somebody that would make sense to bring into the story.
I'm like, are they gonna do like a joke thing in Deadpool of Captain Canuck or something like that?
Yeah. Or like how they did with Matt Damon and like that kind of thing. I could totally see that. Yeah. All right, so back to me here. I think. Damn it, because there's somebody that I really want, and I know she's not going to get back to me, but I feel like I got to stick with my draft board here and who I had grades on. So I'm going to take Banner, number 2, Incredible Hulk. Unfortunately.
I was debating him instead of Black Panther. Yeah, it was between him and
I hate you so much right now.
I mean, again, for me, when I think Avengers, it's the big 3. It's Iron Man, Cap, and Hulk. Some people would say Thor. I always, and I don't know if it's just like a comic thing, but even though Thor is an Avenger, he's a core Avenger, he's very important. I always felt like he had so much other stuff going on that he's not so synonymous with the Avengers. Like he's doing stuff in space, he's on Asgard. When you're making the call to the Avengers at 1:30 in the afternoon, it's going to be Cap, Iron Man, and Hulk showing up. Thor's like, okay, we might be able to get him here in a day or two if he's not fighting some monster in space or whatever. So I say all that to say that Hulk is synonymous with the Avengers, and I'm thrilled to have him in the second round.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me.
It's a great second round pick.
All right,
So that was going to be my pick, so I'm a little annoyed. And in retaliation, I have to pick Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Oh,
knew it was coming.
I have to pick. So first off, I really love this character, and it's a retaliation pick because if there's anyone who you thought was going to pick it,
Tommy, for some background information, I've been perennially the Carol Danvers stan of this show. Even when everybody hated the movie when it came out, the first one, I was like, screw off, it was awesome. We got to see the Kree and the Skrulls have like this kind of little conflict right before Infinity War. Like that's awesome.
I was gonna pick Hawk, thinking he was going to be the mentor to my Spider-Man. I thought he would be the guy who he would turn to when things were tough. But you know what? Power set, I am fine. I have the coolest powers at the game right now. And Captain Marvel, I loved the Marvels. I thought the Marvels was fun. I know it's not going to be the big MCU movie that it should be, but I thought it was fun. And when she realized, who she was, and kind of takes away some of that guilt and just frees herself from her burdens. I think the sky's the limit for that character. I think you can do a whole new arc, and hopefully people are along with it. I think attached to the Avengers brand, Captain Marvel will do fine. And I think where we are in the cinematic landscape, that the box office is always going to be worse than you wanted it to be anyway. I think we're in a weird time for that. So I think Captain Marvel is still definitely a rock for this franchise. And I mean, her first movie made $1 billion. It's a different world. And I couldn't love the character more. And I think the Marvels was really fun.
I agree. I think that's a really, really good point about box office. I think we're about to see, for a completely different reason, in 2 days, just how the box office has been affected based on Aquaman 1 and Aquaman 2's opening weekends, and maybe because it's Christmas, it'll get a boost, but I just can't see that living up to previous expectations as well. Well,
there's a lot of competition.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We got Wonka nipping at the heels of Aquaman. Now, I'm treating this pick. There's a concept in football drafting of draft for need, not necessarily the best player on the board. The Raiders famously always drafted the best, most athletically gifted player on the board.
Just the fastest. Just the fastest.
Yeah. Like, is this person an Olympic sprinter? Great. You don't know. I wanted a Hulk, so there's one Hulk left on the board that I can really think of, and that is She-Hulk. So I am drafting She-Hulk.
Nice.
Also, I want to assemble the Avengers with the most college debt. So right now I have an attorney, so
a doctor and a lawyer. Yeah.
You've got a lot of personality, and I think the Strange and She-Hulk interactions will be fun.
I agree. I like that, but now I need a tactician. So I am going to go with Sam Wilson, Captain America, as my third Avenger on this team. Nice. So I have that's my next pick. A Captain America, but also a military mind.
Hell yeah. Anytime you can get a Captain America in the third round, you're doing pretty well. So
everybody has a captain except for me. Because you have Captain Marvel, Captain America, and Captain America.
I was trying to think of, you could have Captain Crunch.
I'll take Captain Britain, actually, when we get down there.
Or Captain Kirk. I mean, this multiverse thing is getting out of control. For all we
well, what if Warner Brothers and Paramount merge? Then we could see Captain Kirk in a DCU film.
In a DCU movie, that'd be great.
Lord.
Excellent. All right,
Captain Kirk, Brave the Bold. So it's my pick. You got me when I'm making a joke. Let's see here. I'm going to go Daredevil. I need a street level guy. I already know he knows Peter Parker, so he's recruited. Peter calls his lawyer, and it's a seamless transition.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, I have two incredible powers people with Spider-Man and Captain Marvel, and Daredevil is more of a street level fighter. And I love when you have that balance in what you have, what you offer. And I also think I just got my mentor to Spider-Man. I'm good. I didn't get the Hulk. The Hulk was my plan A, but I'm good with Daredevil. And honestly, he's my favorite Marvel character, probably. So I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, I love the pick. It's cool because there's so much comic precedent between the two characters already as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like the peanut butter to each other's jelly, even though apparently Chris doesn't like peanut butter, which I just discovered before this podcast. Crazy person. He's not even allergic to him. I don't get it. But
I was going to say, I mean, if there's an allergy there, you kind of have to.
No, he just doesn't have a soul. So, so I love the pick. I think there's going to be a lot of movie precedent for that coming up too here. If the rumors are to be believed about Spider-Man 4, it's going to be a very street level movie, kind of taking a bit of inspiration from Devil's Reign, the comic in 2021 where Kingpin becomes the mayor of New York. So you'd probably expect that it'll be a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Deadpool, a lot of Echo, a lot of maybe Young Avengers, who knows. But I think by the time we get post Secret Wars, there will be a firm relationship foundation set on screen between Peter and Daredevil to where it would just gel even better. So I love the pick.
Well, what's interesting too is that Captain Marvel and Spider-Man share a scene in Endgame too. So all of Chris's team has had some sort of interaction.
So I'm a big believer in chemistry. I really do believe in chemistry as a thing. I think when you look at, we've kind of talked about football a little bit. When you look at the teams that win the Super Bowl, like that 2000 Ravens team was just fun. They had fun together.
Biased.
Like Shannon Sharp and Tony Saragusa. Yeah, I'm biased as hell. Teams that just click work. So I'm going for the teams that click, and I'm trying to get some balance in there. But yeah, guys, this draft is way too fun so far. So keep it
Yeah.
up, guys.
No, it's a
This
great
is
time.
fun.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Ron.
Back to me. I think I'm hopefully going to get what I think is going to be the steal of the draft here. I'm taking Miles Morales.
Oh,
Damn it.
Son of a
Yes.
gun.
Yep.
No,
I
that's a
needed
great
some
pick.
kind of.
I
Was it?
wanted to, I meant to take him in one of my last two picks, but then I got so excited about being clever. So I applaud that. Miles Morales is such a good pick. Damn.
Very good.
Love him to death. He's at his highest popularity right now. It doesn't seem like that's going away anytime soon.
No.
If anything, he's still on the ascent despite being so popular already. So I think he's going to be huge box office. And I just wanted a spider on my team. If I didn't get Miles, I had one more in mind. But I'm glad that I got Miles here to kind of be my sort of young, reluctant, learning still through the ropes, kind of coming up through the ranks kind of guy. So, yeah, give me Miles here.
Love it.
Interesting.
All right. So while Jordan takes another 45 minutes here, Tommy,
Yes.
Any plans for the holiday?
Oh yeah, I'm home, so I'm doing a comedy show on Friday, which will be
Nice.
fun. Christmas
Where at?
themed show at the Carlson, which is a great comedy club in Rochester, New York. Then I will be, doing Christmas with the fam. Christmas Eve with my dad, Christmas Day with my mom. Shout out Children of Divorce. I'm just excited to be home with my nieces and nephews. It's always a good time. So, Christmas, it might just be a little basic. I might be a basic Christmas B word, but I'm happy with that. That's good enough for me.
That's all you need. As long as you got your friends and your family around, man. It's
right.
cliche, but
and
it's
gambling, and I'll
cliche.
gamble. All right, let's
Sure.
take the pedestal off. I'll be gambling and drinking as well. So just to be clear,
Yeah, of course. That just I almost feel like that's unspoken.
That's one does.
Whether we're talking
I didn't want my reputation to take a hit. I didn't want this to turn into a hit piece. Jordan, you got your pick? Is the pick in?
Yes. Yeah, I do. The pick is in.
All right.
I'm going with Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Okay.
I love the pick.
Yeah,
He was
I'm
going
gonna
to
go
be
with
my
Shang-Chi.
He was going to be my next one if you didn't.
He's one of my favorites of the Phase 4 heroes. I'm kind of upset we haven't seen him in a few years at this point. So looking forward to having him join the team with Thor and Black Panther. And then my fourth pick, I'm going with an X-Man. I'm going with somebody that's been on an Avengers roster before. I'm going with Wolverine.
Nice.
Boo.
Wow.
I couldn't get him in the mutant draft. I have to get him out.
Wow.
Boo.
Unfinished business for our mutant draft.
No, I'm just messing with you, Jordan. It's obviously a great pick. I mean, it's obviously a bit controversial, but I mean, he has been on Avengers teams before.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to build an Avengers team that's going to draw box office coming off the heels of Secret Wars, I mean, you can't. There aren't many other characters out there that are going to ensure the butts are in the seats quite like Wolverine. So,
and mine is a recast. It's not Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So who you got for your second one here?
That was it. It was Shang-Chi and Wolverine.
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it's now you, Ron.
Ron's scared. He doesn't want to draft.
My apologies. Yeah. All right. I am going to go with a pick that I don't think is going to be super duper popular for movie crowds, but I think the comic crowds will appreciate this one a lot more when we're building Avengers teams. I'm taking the Wasp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's one of the more, especially kind of in recent years. She was in the original Avengers lineup, first of all.
Yeah,
and,
Avengers 1.
And more throughout the years, they've kind of been associating her back with them and stuff. So I think it's great to get some woman representation on my team, and not just have it be, not to tip picks, but not to just have it be Black Widow again, to kind of get a fresh face in there, a fresh story. So, bring her on.
All right. Great. That's me.
Is it Evangeline Lilly or is it
Michelle Pfeiffer? Yeah,
Michelle Pfeiffer, or are you recasting?
Ooh, I don't think it would be Michelle Pfeiffer because I'd be going a little younger. Yeah, we'll keep Evangeline Lilly just because I feel like it'll be a lot easier for people to accept if it's a Wasp that they've been seeing already on screen for years, somebody who they've come to identify with the character and love. I mean, you know, people disagree with her about some off the screen stuff that we won't get into, but yeah. So
I'd keep her because she was on Lost. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
She's also one of the worst all-time talk show guests. Like, she does not listen to what, like, clearly they're like, you know, most talk shows are pretty beat out, scripted in terms of like, I'm going to tee you up for a joke. And she just says whatever she wants. And it's always just pure nonsense. There's like, most male actors in their 20s are like that as well. Like, they're like, I got to be as subversive as possible. But there's a certain type of movie star, gender doesn't play any role in it, that just is like, I'm going to be whimsical, and it does not translate in late night TV. It's like, just tell the damn story that your agent or manager gave the host. Anyway, I digress on that. She's good. I like her as an actress, but I don't like her as a talk show guest. Which is more important? Some would say neither.
Yeah. I'm not really. Yeah. Like I said, there's apparently
we haven't been lucky to have her on, so we don't know how she is.
Let's get her as a guest, guys. Next week on the draft.
I was going to say this is the
my least favorite talk show guests.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, Chris.
No, he's fine.
So
He's fine.
I'm gonna stick with chemistry and connection as my strategy, and I'm gonna go Miss Marvel.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Miss Marvel. A character that I think is just starting to going. You know, she's got a lot going for her after the Marvels. You know, technically getting an X-Men here. You know, getting a mutant here. You know, I like Miss Marvel a lot. I like the bangle. I like all the powers, and the fan fiction book club is going to be great.
Yeah.
The Captain Marvel fan fiction book club. Spider-Man's going to be all about it. Daredevil's going to like roll his eyes and be like, "I got work to do, kid." I like the dynamic. Again, chemistry and connection. Every character so far has a connection to one of the characters or multiple characters. So that is my strategy going forward, because I think that's how teams are built. Like, I think we could just go who's coolest. You know, I thought about putting Scarlet Witch here. I thought about putting some other people here, but you know, I don't want to say a lot of names because I don't want all the names to go off the board. But I'm going with the strategy here. I'm going to stick with it.
I like it. And you've got a good mix of like the old guard and like the new kind of up and comers as well. So there's a good dynamic in terms of age and all that there. Yeah, Chris, you're having a very good draft.
Great draft. I am going with my next pick. Recently mentioned multiversal fugitive 838 Wanda Maximoff Scarlet Witch. I'm saying in MCU casting, Elizabeth Olsen. But I'm talking mom on the run with her 2 kids, accused of murdering the Illuminati, hunted down by other empowered individuals in the 838 utopian society, where, if you notice, there are no children above ground. What is going on with that? There are no child extras in those scenes. Was it COVID? Or was it some strange land that didn't allow children? I don't know. They grow hydroponics on the side of their buildings. That's great. But where are the kids? Where are they? Where are they being kept? Prisons? Child prisons? We need to figure this out. We need Jim Caviezel to get in there. Anyway, I'm taking Wanda Maximoff off her world into our world and joining as a kind of a lady on the run with her 2 kids as my 4th pick. And then are we doing 5 rounds?
Yes. Yeah. So this will be your final pick. Yep.
My final pick is one just for me. And it's going to be a newly cast character. I am going to take a disgruntled Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and add him as the 5th member of our team. Former Avenger, also current member of Fantastic Four. But I'm saying something happens in the Fantastic Fourth, and he will be mentored by another man in the sky, Sam. Whoa, Sam Wilson. Sorry,
Wilson.
Sam Wilson, Captain America. I almost said Sam Jackson, which is.
I was just gonna say.
I was like, why couldn't I remember Wilson? Sam Wilson will teach him to fly on his own. You know, and so he'll take him under his wing. Human Torch, Johnny Storm. That's rounding out my roster.
Set yourself on fire, motherfucker.
That's right. Yeah. Say fire again. Say flame on again.
Yeah, Jordan, we're going to have to double up on that bleep button tonight, buddy. All right.
I'll just mark it explicit. We're fine.
Nice. All right.
Chris, last pick.
Your
So
last
anyone want to ask Tommy what he did for dinner tonight while I'm thinking about this?
That's only when Jordan. That's only when Jordan.
Jordan keeps getting that advantage, and it's not fair.
Do you want me to? Do you want in my searching? Do you want me to read some of the weirder Avengers that I'm like, man, this must have been.
If you have,
go for it, man.
If you've got some super obscure ones, rattle them off.
Well, I mean, they're obscure to me, but please tell me if I'm just missing out on something. Where is this cranky bastard? Hang on, sorry. I made this point and then I lost this character. Do you guys remember Rage? Do you remember Rage? Or
no,
Machine Man?
Machine Man, I know.
Living Lightning. Do you know Living Lightning?
Not offhand.
Because that, to me, Living Lightning, if you can't, this is probably not going to play at all. Looks like his arms are lightning bolts.
That's pretty sweet.
So yeah,
his costume kind of looks like Black Lightning from DC.
I was gonna say he looks like he's about to tell me that the hierarchy of the DC universe will forever be changed.
Oh no, that's Black Adam.
And then you got to remember too, a lot of these characters from both DC and Marvel are just blatant ripoffs of each other that got huge pushes for like a couple years in the comics, where they're like, we're gonna blast this person to like the top of our Avengers list, and then people were like, no, we prefer the original better, and then that person just goes away and goes to live in a farm upstate.
Shout out Hyperion.
That's right. Yeah, no kidding. Well, what's funny is I think Hyperion they bring back in the Avengers cartoon from like the mid 2010s. But he's like a buffoon. Like he's just like a total idiot.
Was that Assemble? Avengers Assemble?
Yeah. Which I didn't realize how many episodes of that there were. I started putting it on to in the background because I never watched it during its original run, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of cool sagas. Dracula's involved a lot, which I shout out to Dracula. Definitely, we were scouting you. Maybe we'll bring you on as a non-drafty agent. Dracula might have
the six man.
That's right. Dracula's on. I'm stashing him on my practice squad in case anyone gets hurt.
Yeah. If I recall, I think Sentry has a pretty decent role in that show as well.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of cool characters in that show.
Definitely worth a watch.
All right, Chris. I think.
All right, I've made up my mind, and I'm going back to Chemistry Connection. I'm going to the Netflix universe to do this with Daredevil. I am going to go Iron Fist here.
Wow, Danny Rand.
Okay.
And look, I liked that show way more than most people did. And to be honest with you, I was like, I need someone cool, rounds out the back, kind of someone who can do the missions with Daredevil that's like a little more street level, but kind of has some superpower stuff to him. And again, chemistry. I'm going chemistry. I think he's kind of a chill dude. And I like the pick. And also, I had like 50 names swirling in my head, and I went with this one.
Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't a very big fan of the Netflix show, but I think it's a character that there's so much potential with because of that. Like they didn't even get to do the character justice or scratch really the surface at all on Netflix. So I think there's definitely room for a second life there for Iron Fist for sure. All right, last pick here for me. I'm going to leave a lot of really good names on the board that would probably attract more votes, but I have to pull a Tommy and I have to draft with my heart here. I'm taking my boy, Richard Rider, Nova. I need some kind of space. I need some kind of space representation on my team. We've kind of got Cap and Hulk to be kind of the street level. Miles and Wasp can be more kind of that like multiverse / quantum realmy craziness stuff. And now I've got my space guy, Richard Rider, up there, Nova. He's been my favorite Marvel character since I was a kid. I know that's kind of an obscure pick, but he's great. He's like the Peter Parker of space almost to me. That's kind of how I like to.
I love it.
To equate him. He's my boy. I love him. And God, can we at least get some kind of special project or something with this guy? We've been hearing about it for years.
Special presentation.
Yeah, anything. Like even if it's just make it for me,
Yeah.
I thought about taking him just to piss Ron off, but I didn't do it.
Chris,
no,
that was you're really getting your heart into the season of giving here, and I appreciate that.
Look, this time of year you got to focus on being a friend.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Thank you for doing that. It warms my heart. I'm going to do one nice thing to pay it forward to some stranger in the next few days.
As the resident Christmas boy of the podcast.
That's right. Yeah. God, I set that as my Twitter thing like 12 years ago and just never changed it. And every time someone brings it up, I'm reminded that is my name. And I'm like, oh, right. That's right. That's just been there with no context for everyone to have forever. Yeah, anyway.
Maybe we'll call you Tommy Drip Drip instead.
There you go. All right, I'll take Tommy Drip Drip. Big Sauce. That's one of the 8,000 nicknames I've given. Drip. A lot of nicknames given to myself, which,
That those, as everybody knows, the best nicknames are the ones you give to yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones everybody listens to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can't go Tommy Cutlets anymore, so
no.
Gosh, I got our Mr. Irrelevant here.
Oh boy.
And most people might say that they are irrelevant, I guess. But I am going with, I know I have Thor, but I'm going more cosmic with this. And I need a captain. So I'm going with Captain Universe.
Oh wow. Deep cut.
Talk about it, Mr. Irrelevant. I love
Captain Universe. They are an entity that can have multiple hosts and, jumps to different hosts. And a lot of our Marvel characters have been...
The Captain Universe Spider-Man is like one of my favorite character designs ever. So cool.
I think I got the Funko of it because I really like the look of it, and I was hoping for that suit in Spider-Man 2. But yeah, they're just really cool in that they're like the protector of eternity and stuff. So I feel like it's if we ever have more cosmic threats going forward, we have that taken care of, and then I also have a captain on my team finally. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's
like they obviously already kind of set up eternity in Thor Love and Thunder.
Yes.
And now Thor's daughter Love is, I don't know if you want to call her the essence of eternity or if she just kind of has a bit of eternity in her, whatever you want to say. The first domino has fallen for that character if they wanted to ultimately go the Captain Universe route. So yeah, I dig it. Good pick. I didn't think of it. Honestly, I'm kind of kicking myself. I wish I did.
I almost took them at 3. And then I was like, wait. Nobody else is going to pick Captain Universe.
No, so I think what would have been funny is if you had picked them in the 3rd round, it would have set off a frenzy of like cosmic draft picks for everyone. We would have all been doing a run on like, wait a second.
Evolutionary.
Exactly.
And then Tommy, when you were mentioning obscure ones, I was like, oh, is he going to mention Captain Universe?
Oh,
then Chris is going to take Captain Universe or something?
I didn't steal your thunder because that's a good one. I like that. Awesome.
Excellent.
That's so cool. That's so fun.
Very good.
All right, so I guess the recap here, we have Tommy's team of Doctor Strange, She-Hulk, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Scarlet Witch from 838, and Johnny Storm.
Love it.
You know what?
Then,
therapy bills are going to be high for that team. That's about as unstable mentally of a team as you can get. Anyway.
It's like they always say, the best people to talk to when you have trauma is people with other trauma.
That's right.
There you go.
They also say hurt people. So I
Well, it'll be an interesting movie then. It'll be a lot of just them.
Hopefully they hurt the bad guys.
That's right.
The Avengers versus the Avengers.
Yes.
Avengers Civil War is already taken.
Chris's team, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Daredevil, Miss Marvel, and Iron Fist.
Very nice. Cohesive. Like that's a real team. Chris drafted for chemistry, and I feel like, to step outside of my own bias for my team, I feel like he achieved his goal, clearly stated it. got it done. If I'm giving out draft grades like Mel Kiper on the day of the draft, I'm giving him a solid A. I think it's a hell of a team.
I'll take it.
Got it done. Did what he wanted to do.
That's
took
right.
the best player at every point in the draft.
That's right.
Todd.
That's a good Kuiper.
I try.
We have Ron's team: Steve Rogers, Captain America; Bruce Banner, Hulk; Spider-Man, Miles Morales; Wasp; and Nova, Richard Rider.
Shit, that is powerful.
That's a powerful team. I think to me that's like Avengers Platinum, right? Like that's a really beautiful. That's a beautiful tableau.
Yeah. Great splash pages, great covers. Oh yeah.
And then my team of Thor, Black Panther, Shang-Chi, Wolverine, and Captain Universe.
I mean, that's another great one, though. This is really, it's like
I'm still booing that Wolverine pick.
I mean, I understand haters will say Wolverine.
Haters gonna hate,
but I just think like I'm imagining all these characters doing the slow hero walk with like all five like that.
Yeah.
That one sounds great. You have Captain Universe is just leaping between all four of the other members.
Yeah.
Yes. Hosting each one of these. Yeah,
man.
That, for the record, that would actually be a really cool action scene sequence of like him just going in and like kind of that'd be really sick actually.
They should let us.
It'd be like the Marvels when they're like switching powers.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm glad you guys defended the Marvels a little bit. I enjoyed that movie. I think that I don't think they all have to be, whatever our expectations from the first, few phases were. I am looking forward to these characters all meeting up on screen, though. I will say, as just a fan of team ups and reunions, I'm looking forward to these characters getting the bands back together a little in whatever capacity we get.
I think COVID slowed down a lot of the team up stuff, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a big problem with that. I think we're getting there. I think the problem is we built this MCU up as this unbelievable machine that gave us everything we wanted. And then we started wanting everything. And then it's like, and then Kevin Feige's just like, dude, slow down. It's like the Easter morning. I'd always eat my candy and get sick, and my brother would have candy for months.
Right.
And we need to be more like my brother with having the candy for months.
Be more like your brother. If we take away anything from this, let's be more like Chris.
Be more like Chris.
Oh, I walked right into that one.
But
all right, well that's the draft.
Yeah, man.
Would you guys want to just maybe throw some honorable mentions out there quick before we get out of here?
There you go.
Cool. So obviously the big one that didn't get drafted was Iron Man. I think we can all agree there. Ant-Man was still there. Nobody took them. Miss Marvel did get taken. Vision. Peter Quill.
I want to multiversally. I thought a younger Hank Pym would be like a lost Hank, like a lost genius that had been marooned from another multiverse. Would be interesting because there's so much Hank Pym as an original Avenger. There's something interesting there. If it's especially with his intellect, but with Michael Douglas, you're limited just in the fact that like what can you do with him outside of a CGI suit? Like what and he's great. And but it's I think they need, if they're gonna reboot, some of the reboots should be characters, that are kind of, I think, forced into this world through, without any other choice. Anyhow, blah blah blah.
Yeah. No, assuming kind of that the end of Secret Wars is going to just be that, all of the fragments of the remaining universes coming together, so to speak, into one singular kind of Marvel universe. You know what I mean? Like what they did with the Ultimates and the 616 in the comics. So yeah. The Monica Rambeau. And the only other one I had that I really considered taking with my last pick, I would have if I didn't have another Spider already. Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. She's another one that I always think of comic Avengers, very synonymous. So I almost consider her as well.
I think Shuri Black Panther almost got a pick for me. I really like Shuri Black Panther. I think Wakanda Forever is a movie that I have a hard time with because I want to rewatch it, but I know it's going to break my heart into like 10,000 pieces.
Yeah.
So like I got to pick a mood. Like I got to pick the right mood for that. But like I love her as a character, and I thought honestly I thought about Ant-Man, and I was like, I don't like him enough.
It's fair.
Get out of here.
We've
You're
seen a lot
fired.
of them.
Hey,
Like it's just
it's a
such a
culture
central.
fit. You know, you're drafting. You guys have a team culture, and it's just not a fit, and that's okay. We
Like
wish him the best, and we hope he does well elsewhere.
absolutely. Like I like Ant-Man. My problem with him is I just don't think he fits in with the team, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what
I didn't pick Ant-Man because in my mind he's probably done after this.
I think so.
So I kind of let him rest.
I did really like Tommy's idea though of a younger Hank, because Hank
That
he's
is a good
another one
idea.
that, like, when you think of comic Avenger, and I know I keep going back to this, but it's just because I'm a fucking comic nerd. Like I think of Hank Pym Ant-Man when I think of comic Avengers. I don't think of Scott Lang Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I'm just remembering now, like, how obsessed at New Rockstars we were with, like, Scott Lang's for sure gonna die in Quantumania.
Yes.
We harped on that so much, and like one of the phenomenons of like working for, as a job for theorizing is like the contagiousness of theories, where you're like, I don't know, man, why would Paul Rudd like be like, kill me in this movie? It's like, it can't be that hard for him to be Ant-Man. Like, it's like,
yeah.
never shirtless. I mean, he's got in shape, but it's like Ant-Man's not shirtless. Like, he's always, he can, they can definitely
It's
300.
It's almost kind of an appeal to him that he's the everyman. You know what I mean?
Right. So
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was all on board with being like, he's for sure dead. And I was like, why? Then the movie comes out, and you're like, why did I ever think that? Anyway, I digress. Can't help
But
it.
you guys were right. I know we're kind of trying to wrap up here, but you guys were right. There was a lot of rumors going around that was going to be the case. There was a bunch of reshoots for that movie, obviously, as we know. So, I think that's a very plausible.
Kill
They
him
should have
soon.
let Kang win. They should have let Kang win.
I think theories have to also start going different directions. A lot of theories are like, this person's gonna die, and it's never just like he retires. He spends more time with Cassie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like they're always gonna die.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So my problem is Kang loses to Ant-Man, and people are like, he lost to Ant-Man. So, which is hilarious because Ant-Man's such a central figure in the MCU.
Right.
But yeah, that's.
I would agree with that, though. I think
I
as much as
how powerful Kang was supposed to be if he's immediately defeated. Like, it's like,
I would always push back. I would push back on that, and I would push back on it because I'm an Ant-Man stan. But when we're
Ant stan,
yeah, an Ant stan. When we're talking about that, it was still before he had all of his capabilities.
Sure.
Of Kang. So, and also, Ant-Man can be OP when you can control ants, and the fact is these ants were huge because they're in the quantum realm. So it kind of it worked for me. But I, as like a prologue of Kang, but I don't know if we're ever getting that now.
Well, yeah, definitely.
It will be interesting to see if and what Kang iteration we get moving forward. I don't
casting is not hard.
I agree.
It's not.
I'm with you. I know we can't roll out another tangent, but I agree. Just recast. Anyhow, well, guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were a blast.
Do you want to just plug where everybody can find your stuff?
Yeah, I'm on. So all of my socials are at Tommy Bechtold. So just follow me on X, follow me on Instagram, follow me.
Follow him into the greatness.
Yes, follow me into my cult. And that's it. Thanks for having me on. Let me know when you need me to draft again. I'll be back.
Oh, dude!
All right, awesome.
We would absolutely love to have you again. This was a blast, dude.
I really appreciate it. It's very nice to get to meet you guys, and thank you for having me on. I'm gonna let my mom have the kitchen back now, so she can make some Christmas fudge.
Oh,
excellent!
All right. See you.
Thanks for jumping on. Have a great holiday.
Take care. Bye.
Really quick, before we move on, I wanted to help plug Tommy's show as well. On YouTube, it's the Have a Drink with Me podcast. It's really fun, very kind of casual sort of listen as you'd expect from the title. It's a great show. Go check it out. And you can obviously find him on New Rockstars as well. So, if there's any overlap of people who listen to this show and don't know Tommy, I would be very surprised. But if there is, go give him a follow and go support all his work, because he's an awesome dude. He didn't have to do this for us, and the fact that he made time for us was really, really cool.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
It was great. I had a blast with him, man. He's a cool dude.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chris. Now I've stolen your thunder. Now plug your stuff.
And you can follow my lowly accounts at Multiversal Omni, where you can talk all things comic book nerdiness with me. And I'm writing for Elseworlds blog. Elseworlds, a DC fan podcast, is the show I host with Jordan. You can check that blog post out. Thanks, by the way. And you can follow me at FootballMan58 on X or Twitter or whatever we want to call it. That'll do.
Awesome.
That'll do.
Ron.
Yep. Y'all know me at this point, at Jedi Genasi, Genasi. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X/Twitter. I'm on all those good stuff. And we've got a lot of fun stuff coming, man. We're, not to kind of peel back the curtain too much, but we're starting in some fun little Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I'm kind of trying to bring you guys along in that route. Maybe we can start getting some fun streams going, do some one-shots.
Mhm.
Lots of fun stuff potentially down the pipe for 2024. So as we kind of start to coast into this holiday week here and take some time to spend some time with our families and just enjoy, be on the lookout, because we've got some really fun stuff coming next year.
And then for my million plugs here, so earlier today, our my episode on Spider-Man Book Club dropped. It's a what if. I discussed the first what if comic ever, which is what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four. So you can find that over on Spider-Man Book Club. Just search that in your feeds, or if you go on Twitter, I retweeted it. So there you go. My chronological Clone Wars is continuing every Wednesday, where we watch a batch of episodes of Clone Wars and then we discuss them. My second time watching the show, and Logan, my co-host's first time watching the show. That's over on the Pod Awakens. And we'll have more Star Wars content with these guys too, Chris and Ron. At some point, we got to do our live Attack of the Clones at some point. Mm-hmm. Ron is going to be coming on to talk the Ultimate Universe issue 1, as well as Ultimate Spider-Man's relaunch when that drops. So we'll kind of be doing monthly short discussions about the comic as it goes. And of course, What If the show is back starting Friday, and Ron is going to be on there with Jack, who covered the first season with me. And the way I think we figured out we're going to do it is one around halfway through the season and one at the end of the season, because these are daily drops. So we're not doing it every day. I'm not recording Christmas Day like, hey guys, we just watched What If. Like, I'm not doing that. But yeah, so that's all of the plugs on my end. And then, of course, Chris and I on Elseworlds. Chris wrote a great blog piece about the Matt Reeves Arkham Asylum show that's coming out and how that fits into the DC universe. And we'll be back discussing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom whenever I get a chance to see it. I don't know if I'm seeing it this holiday right now, but yeah, so that's all of the plugs. Thank you all. Oh yeah, we have a Discord now. You can find the link in the show notes below. We're all on it. Casey McGeorge, who did Secret Invasion and She-Hulk and WandaVision with me, is on there. Logan, who's covered some shows
Wolverine?
on here. Yeah,
he's on our Discord.
Yes, he is. Yes. Yep. I'll just say that so people go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Logan's on there. My Jack, who, like I said, was on What If, is on there now. And then all three of us are on there, and there might be other people I forgot. But join us if you just want to talk. It's for all of the podcasts, so you'll see stuff on there for, Pod Awakens, Elseworlds. All have separate channels.
And then we got like an NFL channel on Sundays. We just talk football. So
yeah, where we talk football.
And you better be a Ravens fan, just letting you know.
So. Well, thank you all for watching and listening along. We will catch you next time when we talk What If.